From the village of Konohagakure came a boy whose legacy would one day define a generation, Naruto Uzumaki. But that legacy came at a price, because being born as Naruto wasn't a gift, it was a life sentence, a punishment, a cruel twist of fate. He wasn't born to applause, he was born in destruction. The very moment Naruto entered the world, the hidden leaf was under attack by the nine-tailed fox. Buildings burned, families were torn apart, people died, and in the middle of all that chaos, a baby cried, unaware that his destiny had already been written in blood. Naruto's parents were heroes. Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, and Kushina Uzumaki, a fierce and loving mother, gave everything to protect the village. They sealed the Nine Tails inside their own son, not because they wanted to, but because they had no choice. Their final moments were filled with hope that Naruto would be seen as a savior. But hope dies fast. Instead of being praised, Naruto was feared. Instead of being embraced, he was shunned. No one told him the truth, no one explained, they just avoided him, whispered behind his back, gave him glares colder than steel. He was just a child, but to the village, he was the monster who destroyed everything. He grew up with nothing, no parents, no warmth, no explanation. The apartment he lived in was barely enough to be called a home. He learned how to cook instant noodles at an age when other kids still needed help tying their shoes. He celebrated his birthdays alone. Not because he was antisocial, but because no one ever showed up. Even the children stayed away from him, because their parents told them to. Imagine being 5 years old and wondering why you're the only one who no one wants to play with. Imagine being told, without words, that you don't deserve to exist. So he acted out. He pulled pranks. He yelled in class. People couldn't ignore him, because being hated was still better than being invisible. He just wanted someone to see him, to hear him, to care. But even in the ninja academy, Naruto was a failure. He couldn't clone himself properly. He didn't understand chakra control. The other students laughed. Teachers dismissed him. He was a joke. And all of this happened before he even learned what a tailed beast was. Then there was Sasuke. Sasuke Uchiha, the genius, the one everyone respected, the one with the tragedy that people sympathized with. While Naruto was feared for what he carried, Sasuke was admired for what he lost. It didn't matter that Naruto had also lost everything. He didn't get the same grace. Naruto didn't just want to beat Sasuke. He wanted to be like him, to matter like he did. Their rivalry wasn't about pride, it was about pain. For Naruto, Sasuke was a mirror, a reminder that even broken people could be loved, just not him. He finally began to gain respect. Iruka was the first person to acknowledge him. Then came Kakashi. Then Jiraiya, the closest thing to a father Naruto ever had. For the first time, people were seeing Naruto, not the Nine Tails, but the world didn't let him hold on to anything for long. Jiraiya died, killed while gathering intel to protect the village. That loss shattered Naruto. He didn't just lose a mentor, he lost a piece of himself. He screamed, he broke. And yet, he stood back up, because that's all he ever knew how to do. Keep moving, no matter how heavy the pain. Even when he saved the village from pain, even when he brought hope back to the people who once hated him, Naruto didn't forget. He remembered every cold stare, every silent rejection. Every night he cried alone. And just when he thought he might get peace, the war began. He learned about Madara, Obito, the Akatsuki, Kaguya. He learned about how the shinobi world was built on cycles of hatred and sacrifice. And somehow, a teenager with trauma deeper than the ocean was expected to carry the future of the entire ninja world on his shoulders. Naruto was strong, not because he wanted to be, but because he had to be, because no one else could take that weight. He made peace with Kurama, the Nine Tails who once tried to destroy him. They fought together, bled together, bonded. But that bond was forged through suffering, through years of hate and misunderstanding. Naruto had to earn every ounce of love in his life. He never got anything for free. Even when he became Hokage, it didn't erase what came before. Sure, the villagers respected him now. They cheered his name. But where were they when he was hungry and alone? Where were they when he begged for attention? When he screamed into the void and no one listened? They loved him now because he was useful, because he won, because he carried them through a war and survived. But Naruto remembered what it felt like to be unwanted, and that memory never left him. Now, as an adult, as the seventh Hokage, Naruto has a family, a son, a wife, a village, but he still carries that pain, still hides it behind a smile, still works himself to exhaustion because he's terrified of ever being worthless again. He became the hero of the story, but that doesn't change how the story started. That's why it sucks to be born as Naruto. Because from the second he opened his eyes, the world decided he didn't deserve love. Because he had to fight, bleed, and lose everything, just to be treated like a human being. Because no child should ever have to prove they're worthy of being alive. And even when he won, he never really stopped suffering.